start list for the next race, Camilla.
Yeah, so the next race on the course, women's double sculls, and in lane 1, Romania. Not the Romania we're used to seeing, though. This is Morisanu and Balalka, the 2 under-23 world champions lining up in lane 1 for Romania. In lane 2, Rivera Scaramuzzino, new into the crew here, joining Emma Lenati for France. And Norway, they've been brilliant, haven't they, this year in 2024? Thea Helseth and Inga Kavli, the European champions, will go up against the crew that set the water alight on the Rotse in Lucerne, Australia. Amanda Bateman and Harriet Hudson, the Olympic bronze medalist from the quad. Is then Great Britain, part of that Project LA group, Freya Keto and Jenny Bates, Thames Rowing Club and Oxford Brookes. And then finally, Catherine Glenn and Isabella Carter of New Zealand, who have come out of the quad from the final Olympic qualification regatta to race the double here in Poznan. And we're already underway. I think lots of racing to try and cram into this programme that's chopped and changed around due to the weather here in Poznan. But there is the stroke C, Inga Kavli, World Rowing Athlete of the Month last month for Norway, and wow, she has really sort of put this double on the map alongside Thea Helseth, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been an amazing season for the Norwegians. I'm liking the look of this French double, Elodie Rivera Scaramuzzino over there in the bow seat, and her stroke woman Emma Lunati. The French have changed their team up a little bit from the 2 that qualified this boat for the Olympics last year in the World Championships. We're looking at these Kiwis who are right up there on this near side. Isabella Carter, she's on the left of your picture, and she's a former Husky, which kind of meant she went to the University of Washington. She's from Christchurch, as is Catherine Glenn, who is the bow woman, studied at Via Maria College in Christchurch on the South Island of New Zealand. Of course, the New Zealand double, that will be in Paris, Lucy Spores and Brooke Francis. But Romania now moving into the lead. Of course, the Romanian double, Bodnar and Radic, not here. Antonio Colomanici has kind of sent his talent or development team to this regatta, but this Romanian double have got this under-23 world champion in. I think it's Morisanu, is it? And
I think both of them. They won the double in Plovdiv at the under-23 World Championships, and based on the record that the Romanians have at the age group championships, these two will be ones to watch. And stepping in the footsteps of the great Bodnar and Radic, who we've already talked about, whose reigning streak of unbeaten races came to an end in Lucerne, which was unexpected.
Well, in fact, it came to an end in Szeged.
In Szeged, my apologies, apologies, Martin. You're absolutely right. But they're going out hard. They're still the fastest moving boat in the water. But I think we'd expect a really mature race plan from some of the more experienced crews just sat to their left. Most notably, I think Amanda Bateman and Harriet Hudson, who went toe-to-toe at World Cup 2 with the USA, who ended up winning that medal at World Cup 2 in the end. But we know that they're a fast combination. I said Harriet Hudson in the stroke seat. She was part of that Olympic bronze medal winning crew back on the Sea Forest Waterway in Tokyo, and I think they'll have a great middle thousand here. There's the bows, number 4, going up against those European champions from Norway, bow number 3 there, and they look settled here. A great rhythm being set by Inga Kavli.
Yeah, Inga Kavli has been a remarkable athlete. Last year qualifying the Norwegian crews for Paris, and we're looking at the Australians there. Let's talk about Harriet Hudson, that we mentioned, the stroke woman of that age, from the quadruple scull, born in Queensland but rows for Sydney Rowing Club now, and Amanda Bateman, the Victorian in the bow seat, 27 and 26 years of age, those two. Feels coming back to the Romanians. I just think it's interesting looking at Yulia Baluca there. She's really working very hard, and it doesn't look easy for the Romanians. And I think, you know, you see the Australians there, they've kind of got more poise, more form. The Norwegians are nice and loose, and they're going to really come through the Romanians in this third quarter.
I think the French need to watch out here. They're currently in the danger zone in 4th place. And we talked about this new combination. Emma Lanati in the stroke seat. She's remained firm here, but it's Elodie Rivera-Scaramuzzino that has come in for Margot Balliol. They still think they can find a faster combination in this French double to step on from the second World Cup. They're in the B final there, A final here in Poznan. So certainly at least a little stepping stone up towards fighting for the medals, and they'll be very encouraged to be half a length off this gold medal fight between Norway and Australia. Romania now slipping back, and I think given the inexperience, the under-23s maybe don't have that race maturity as we go through that 12:50 marker. They could slip back. We know they've got a great sprint across the board from a Romanian programme, but here come the remainder of the field, the senior crews ploughing through, and the Norwegians are a canvas up, if that, on Australia. And the French now starting to break the backs of the Romanians and come through in that bronze medal position.
Yeah, you can see why it's so important for these women from the Norwegian double and the Australian double to race here, because Australia took that fantastic silver medal in Lucerne behind the Americans, but the Norwegians, you know, they were back in 3rd place. They want to reverse that verdict, Camilla, as we come into the last quarter.
Yeah, this is a very different race to what we saw at World Cup 2. It was the Australians out in front that got charged down by the USA. This time around, the script has flipped. The Aussies are the ones having to do the charging down here because they're coming for Norway. And these two crews will have a great ding-dong. Final 500 metres now. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the final race of the World Cup season. And wow, Inga Kavli there, just so sharp, so upright, and they're keeping that sort of metronomic rhythm in this double scull. Much longer in the Australian crew here on the near side, Bateman and Hudson, and it is coming down now to a matter of a bow ball as we come into the final 400 metres, half a length back to France.
I really like the way that Harriet Hudson was just holding her back at the front end and then opening that back out in the mid-phase of the drive. You can see it there, she's really getting that back on. And that is taking their bows through the Norwegians. A magical scull from Rivera-Scaramuzzino and Lunati from the French as we come into the red boys.
Oh, dynamite here from the Norwegians. They saw the Australians chipping away at that gold medal lead, and they've said no thank you, but one more chance here for Australia as they break once again. What have Norway got this time around? The French also entering into the pressure cooker of the red boys in that bronze medal position. You can see their bows here vying for that overlap, but gold medal position still the Norwegians. Kavli looks over here to see Australia starting to slide through on the left-hand side. It's going to be, I think, the tightest finish we've seen this morning as Australia just punching in the strokes here. Bateman and Hudson, I'm not sure whether they're going to do enough here. It's Kavli and Helseth that try once more. They really put in a robust final throw at it, but it's going to be Australia right when it matters most for the gold. Norway will have to settle for silver. France with a brilliant bronze. Lunati and Rivera-Scaramuzzino, I think, have done enough there to prove to the French selectors this is an improvement on that combination. Romania, the early leaders, the youngsters, will finish across in 4th. And then the remainder of the crews now trickling in from Great Britain and New Zealand, but wow, that was timed to perfection there for the Aussies.
Yeah, but a great scull from those 3 medalists. Tay Helseth congratulating her stroke woman Ingesign Kavli there with the silver medal. They have moved on since Lucerne. I think the Australians rode a perfect race. The Norwegians showed the form that took them to the European gold ahead of the world champions from Romania. Bodnar and Radis will be looking at this. The Lithuanians will be looking at this. The Americans, who won in Lucerne, Vitas and Wagner, will be looking at this and just wondering, my goodness, that is going to be so tight in Paris.
And I think hope in this event, because I think the Romanians, Bodnar and Radic, had scared off a lot of people from entering the women's double scull, and they've shown that they're breakable. And so all of these crews now with that sort of fire in the belly of knowing that a gold is certainly on the line here in Paris. Norway, Australia, the USA, you've mentioned all of them here, Lithuania, have all got the sort of bit between their teeth. And I think the Australians, if they can put a race together like that, look at that, just half a canvas in it at the end of that 2,000 metre stretch, and brilliant there for Australia. Another gold medal notched up for them, and we've got Tara Rigney to come later in the women's singles sculls. She's certainly a favourite for the Aussie women's sculling team. A really sort of inspiring performance, I think, for Australian women's sculling this weekend.